Hi everyone, welcome to Function Pilates. I'm Vanessa Kelly, studio owner and master trainer of Function Pilates located in Tempe, Arizona. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through a default series of variations for your footwork category. I'm working on a balanced body piece of equipment, and the spring tension I've chosen for the beginner footwork is 2 reds, 1 green, and a yellow spring. So this should equal about 3.5 springs if you're working on a different model. I understand as a student this can be overwhelming and challenging as you're beginning to piece together exercises for your clients. The videos I've created are intended to help you and assist you through the learning process. So if you do like the videos, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and I do fully appreciate your support. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we start the footwork series, have your client or yourself double check the head and body are positioned symmetrically on the carriage by looking at each shoulder block. Next, align your heels hip distance apart in a parallel position. The ankles should track with the knees and knees with the hips. Remember, the hips are located at the ASIS, which are the bony parts of the pelvis. Make sure that the feet are staying connected to this imaginary wall and that there's no movement in the ankles here. It's going to change the whole idea of what this footwork feels like to them. Encourage them to push from the back of their legs and keep their tailbone down. Transition to the toes, hip distance apart, still in parallel. Try to keep the heels slightly elevated and remind your client to press equally into each of the toes. There should be an even amount of weight distribution at the ball of the foot. Again, as you are pressing out, as your client is pressing out, remind them to draw their abdominals in, try to scoop the belly button to spine, and stay stable and grounded through the hips and the tailbone. Now connect the heels together, toes apart to form a Pilates V. Think of an average slice of pie or pizza. As the legs straighten, remind your clients to activate the inner thighs, and as they bend, the knees will bend no wider than the shoulders. If they're having a hard time keeping those heels together, remind them to hug their heels together as if they were holding onto a $100 bill, or let them know to keep kissing the heels together. So use different imagery so that they can understand that. With the footwork, we typically do between 8 to 12 repetitions, depending on your client. From here, organize the heels in a wide stance so that each heel is at the corner of the foot bar. The legs are in a slightly turned out position, and encourage the client to feel the back side of the thighs to fire up the hamstrings. Cue them to push the back of the knees to the floor if they don't have a tendency to hyperextend. This is especially said when people are micro bending at the knee here and not fully going into extension to open up the hips. Then, from this wide stance, move the toes directly to the foot bar. Challenge them to keep the heels lifted because footwork is all about strengthening the ankles, knees, and hips. Be sure to add in compliments or let them know they were going at a good pace. Clients need to know that they're doing something right, and if they aren't, we need to address that to them and educate them on how to correctly fix it. Remind them to breathe, relax the neck and shoulders, and keep the arms down nice and long. Finally, end with calf raises, prances, and running. Anywhere from 8 to 20 is a good number of repetitions. The most important part to keep an eye out is for that the hips are not shifting. So no Elvis in the pelvis. Everyone can understand what that means at some point or another. And as you are done with your calf raises, you can also go heels together, toes apart, and go into those calf raises. So parallel or heels together, toes apart, and then we can move along into prances where you're going to bend one knee, drop one heel under the foot bar, come to center, drop one heel under the foot bar, and alternate. So the difference between running and prancing is that there is a stop in between so that both heels are at the highest point in the center. Running is just alternating from one leg to the next. And then have them come in nice and slow, and that is the end of the footwork series.